find someone who would embrace Arkansas and the opportunities to build on a rich tradition that includes 22 conference titles, 14 Sweet 16 appearances, 11 Elite 8 appearances, 6 Final Fours, and a 1994 NCAA championship.
The head coach of your Arkansas Razorbacks, John Calipari.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Bow season is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. BearTech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows. Clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3001 0 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Waiting on the right time. Time, baby. Waiting on the right time. Waiting on the right time. Time, baby. Waiting on the right time. To say exactly how I feel.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Somewhere out there on the interstates is Clay Henry on his way to California. He'll join us. No, Colorado. Couple extra states he'd get to California. Not all there today, Clay. Pardon me for that. Where are you and how are you?
I'm doing great. I left Northwest Arkansas at 4:30, and I'm making the left turn at Salina to get on I-70, and it'll be straight to the mountains.
Well, it'll be
a pretty drive
day when you get there. Absolutely.
It's a pretty
nice
drive.
And flat,
Yeah.
but you get to see those mountains just rising in the horizon as you approach them. I love that.
Yeah, I'm kind of around the wind turbines now.
That's
wind-
I was joking with one of my
wind is
buddies.
About 30.
You go into a restaurant around that part of town, around that part of the state, and you see the decor on the walls, and all it is hay bales and wind turbines is the pictures they have up in the restaurant. Yeah,
Yeah, in an old cowboy hat.
that's right.
Clay, Rose Richardson passed away yesterday,
Yeah.
age 84. I never had a chance to meet her, so I don't know much about her other than what it is that I've read and some of the things that I've heard some of Coach Richardson's players say about here, Matt Zimmerman. And I know you had not just a personal relationship, but a close friendship, not just with Rose, but with Coach Richardson as well.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way back to, early 80s when they arrived in Tulsa. I started going out to watch practice. I watched a lot of practice at Arkansas, too, early days of Hogs Illustrated. So, but it just seemed you bumped into her, games, and I'd go see her and been welcome in their home. There's a ton of tributes on social media, and you get the idea, and they all are the same about just how she mothered the players, and she was the matriarch of the program. That Nolan, she was, those players that came with Coach from Western Texas Junior College, Snyder. There's a little bitty town, and Paul Pressey and all those guys, and then Mike joined them at Tulsa from Birmingham. She was their mom, and most of them didn't have very much. They junior college players typically, they're pretty needy in a lot of ways, and she was the one. And there's a lot of coaches' wives that are like that. Patsy Sutton was like that. Darrell Walker can tell you how she mentored him. But I got one story, and this was in the kind of the mid-range of his Tulsa days. They recruited a really nice center from El Paso. Of course, that's where Rose and Nolan are from, and so that was a special kinship. He was bilingual. And Bruce Vanley, 6'10", he outplayed Sam Perkins when they beat North Carolina in the ORU's. They called it the Oil Capital Classic. And during that time, he wasn't like Oliver Miller overweight, but he was a little, hey, let's trim him up to play this running style. And he, that was problematic. So, he needed some rest. But I mean, if you outplay Sam Perkins at the height of his game, you were a dude. But they thought he could be, just up and away. And so they're trying to get him to lose weight. In the chow hall, put him in with a nutritionist. That was in the early days of that kind of stuff. And he's gaining weight. And they didn't understand it. And Nolan went on a recruiting trip, high school, came in about 10:30 on a Friday night. And there's Bruce, family at the kitchen table, his kitchen table, and Rose had a full cake and a full pie for him to eat. and Coach is like, hey, he can't have that. We need him to drop pounds. He's gaining pounds in his diet. And Rose just looked at Coach and said, he's yours at the gym. He's mine here. Eat your sweets, honey.
Yes, you knew who was boss inside the house, right? I think Clay might have dropped off his phone for a moment there. That happens when you're all the way out.
I was going to say
the
that's not
windmills
really
are taking charge.
Not the best reception. It's even hard to get your FM dial on a radio tune when you're out there. But he's got XM though. What are you talking about?
Well, I used to play the game. It's like you'd shop around. Well, not shop, just kind of see how many radio stations you can land on just by hitting the scan button. If you only hit 2, you're officially in radio hell. And you can't do the fun thing about scanning the AM dial in the daytime. It just does. You don't get the stations from far out there. But it hits me listening to him talking about Rosario Richardson there, Matt. Like I see this a little bit with baseball and Dave Van Horn and Karen Van Horn, maybe not quite to that level. Same with the football team. I think Ed, maybe not to the same idea of being like a team mom, but the Musselmans. I mean, Danielle was all over the place too here. This to me, like, you don't see this kind of relationship, and maybe I'm missing it, but I sense you don't see that kind of relationship in pro sports between the players and a coach's spouse as you do in college sports. And that's because, I mean, usually those guys, they're professionals. They're grown men. They go home after the game. They may have a family. They're at a different point in their life. And it isn't the same with every college coach that is married. But in these cases, and I think in a lot of cases, Clay, and I see we got your back here, this kind of relationship seems just kind of more of a college sports thing than a pro sports thing. In the spouse of the coach kind of becoming a secondary mom, or in some cases almost like a primary mom to some of the coaches' players.
Well, so one of the things I will say, it might be changing a little bit because of the portal. You got 1-year and 2-year players, but I think Coach Cal and his wife are the same way with their players, and he talks about his wife being the princess and all the things that she does with players in their home. So I think you see that, and I mean all these NBA stars that will start rolling into Fayetteville. They're going to see her, but that's the way I think there'll be a tremendous outpouring of former players that come back for this service Thursday at Catholic Church. By the way, I'm aware that there'll also be a service in El Paso, because they spend so much time in El Paso, and they've given so much of themselves in El Paso, in the community in the barrio. So I didn't really remember this in the Tulsa days, but it was early on when they moved to Arkansas. One of the kind of missions that she had, ministry, I guess you'd say, is on Friday and Saturday, and she had a good friend. They would go to garage sales, and they would buy all the clothes, box them up, and send them to community centers in El Paso. Go to the Potter's House, Salvation Army, Goodwill store, just buying clothes, use their wealth. There's millions, the poor in El Paso in the the Mexican community, and she served them. And I mean, thousands of kids got clothes from her. It just, and that was her passion, and so she kept herself busy all through the years doing that. Now we know that her health really deteriorated the last 10 years, and Coach didn't. There's a lot of things he could have done. Golf, travel. I think he would have liked to have gone to some games at St. John's to watch Mike's teams play. Just he would not leave Rose. I think she had a lot of problems with her back. Some fusions all the way down. Made her in diabetes and dementia. Just really sad. And I talked to Nolan about all that. I went by to see him a few months ago, and he says, Rose wants you to come to the bedroom. She's bedridden, and she motioned with her finger, and I leaned down, and she gave me a strong hug and told me she loved her, and that's the last time I've seen her, and I teared up, and Nolan laughed. He says, "You're every person, same thing. It is tough, Clay." What a sweet soul.
Well, to your point about her effect on the city of El Paso, not only is there a street named after Nolan Richardson in El Paso, there's a Rosa Richardson Avenue as well. And there's a lot of cities across the country where there's streets or avenues or boulevards or highways named after coaches. Not too many that are named after coaches' wives or spouses of any kind. So that says a lot about her effect.
Yeah. There's an elementary school they're really proud of that, the Richardson Elementary School in El Paso. We all know that he's had charity tournaments here, but he always has one in El Paso too. Give back to the community. So I worry about Coach. He's, this is, you lose your soulmate at this age. I know everybody is praying for him. And I know the players, former players, they're going to keep tabs on him and see him. But I'm going to guess that Coach Calipari does the same thing. He's had him over at practice. And,
yeah, saw the video. It was really cool.
Yeah, I know that, Coach enjoyed that. Some of the people that were around, his voice is still so terrific. And he's, I've always told him, I said, hey, there's not a preacher in our state that delivers a sermon any better than you.
Well, our thoughts are with Coach Richardson and his entire family, and hope Rose rests in peace. And we'll move on to other things after the break because we got football to worry about this Saturday as well. Arkansas back in action against LSU, and we'll get Clay Henry's thoughts about that in just a moment. So stay with us on halftime. We'll be back after this quick break.
I'll eat liver. Raw liver. If we win this game Saturday.
This is halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
My second up, T-Will, the game plan that he put together, that was fun to watch.
3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. I'm a patient there, and you can be too. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief, one more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Everybody down with the 33. Yeah. Jackie said, Johnny, can't you see? You love everybody but Jackie Lee. Johnny said, Jackie, don't take my life. I got 3 young kids and a badass wife. Jackie told Johnny, you're acting crazy. You know about having a baby.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, Greg Sankey has issued a reprimand for Kirby Smart's shove of Mississippi State freshman quarterback Michael Van Buren. Quote, coaches cannot make contact with an opposing player. This play should have resulted in enforcement of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I am confident the contact was not intentional, and the clear expectation is this conduct won't happen again, unquote. Clay Henry is with us. He is the senior columnist at hitthatline.com, former publisher and editor of Hogs Illustrated. That's not even a slap on the wrist, Clay. And I know Kirby said he didn't see him. Maybe that was just out of rage at the call, which I'm not quite sure if that's if that's an acceptable reason for why you might have shoved somebody. I was so angry I didn't see the guy that I shoved, which I don't buy the explanation either.
No, I mean, I think it's typical coach speak. was, you've had a chance to think about it. It's like, how do I get out of this? I don't think Kirby Smart's a bad guy, but there's some things that have gone on with that program that he seems to let slide in the name of let's keep the good ones happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't feel like that he's not lily white in anything that he's doing. And I think their fans have let everything slide because of their winning. Let's see if they lose a few games and how all this stuff. But right now he's winning, so he'll probably just slide on this too.
Well, you got a big game on Saturday. Another top 10 nighttime matchup for the Arkansas Razorbacks with LSU favored by 2.5 points and minus 140 on the money line. A lot seems to be hanging on whether or not Taylor Green plays, what that looks like if and when he does get on the field. But on the other side, too, here, whoever's going to be quarterback's got to stay upright against this LSU pass rush. And this is the biggest test for Arkansas secondary so far this year.
Yeah, to your second point, a really good, aggressive vertical passing game, LSU. And they're going to attack down the field. And, maybe 15 times during the game. And, man, Nussmeier made some great throws to end that game. His last two, I guess, the play to end regulation for LSU into a tight window for a touchdown, and then the first play, they're trying overtime, a back shoulder pass that was just terrific, a laser that ended the game. He made some other really good throws. Loves that tight end, Taylor. I've been impressed with what he's done since the first game. It seems like he's gotten better every week. LSU's the real thing. They're more talented than Arkansas, but the gap has been closed since last year. And there's some weird things that happen with LSU. I think this is a good spot. I don't know, trap game, you hear that phrase. I don't know if that's the right word, but Arkansas, I think, falls at a good spot for them. They've got, they needed a week to heal up, and not just quarterback. Landon Jackson's beat up, Jaquindon Jackson beat up. There's some others. They need to get Braxton back. They need some nagging injuries to heal up so that they can be at their best for this game. They weren't at their best and still won against Tennessee, but I after watching Tennessee last week, I think LSU might be a better team. Yeah, when I say that,
quarterback.
Yeah, and Florida is, they pushed them to Tennessee to the limit. LSU's defense has been up and down, but they, to your point, Matt, they're dangerous. They've got some receivers. They lost great ones. They still have some receivers, and they're dangerous as far as big play capabilities because of their speed.
Clay, I think, you talk about people getting healthy. I wonder if Luke Haas is getting healthy, but I think one thing that's going to come down to, can we pressure the quarterback a little bit? But it's going to be, how do our D-backs tackle those big receivers and their tight ends they got? Do we stay in? Do we keep them in front of us? Do we let them throw it over our head and get big plays? I think Phil said they had 12 plays over 15 yards in that Ole Miss game. So they're going to get chunk plays. I think it's kind of that dime defense he likes to play with 6 D-backs. I think you might see a lot of that this week.
Yeah, I was impressed with what Travis Williams did against Tennessee. That they were in some, what I thought, in the box 3-1, but they had guys coming down some nickel outside linebacker. They're playing extra safeties, and it's hard to evaluate their personnel. What is Anthony Switzer playing? What's his key? That LSU has a week to evaluate that particular scheme, but I suspect that Travis will have him in something different this week. He seems to be gaining confidence in how he uses this personnel. And to your point about tackling, it looks like it's gotten better. The defensive linemen that maybe flopped in that one possession against A&M, they tackled better. Some of those backups. I think that they've kept their line fresh. They've rotated linebackers a lot. The number of players that are playing. I remember John Thompson told me, he was defensive coordinator under Houston Nutt. He said he wanted 25 guys ready to play on defense. He said usually you have about 18. I think Travis Williams has over 20 that he can play, and that really makes a difference in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I remember being a little nervous about Arkansas's linebacking core when spring season happened, and then they brought in, I think it was 3 guys and they're not just listed at linebacker too, and I think that's one of the things that makes this defense so good. And
versatile.
Yeah, versatile.
Yeah.
I was going to say multiple, but versatile is the word. Guys like Worth, Dix, they're able, and they, like Worth is listed as a safety, but I know he played linebacker previously, and sometimes he lines up at the same position here at Arkansas. A guy like Slaughter, who was one of the first they got to come in, but he's been so good at tackling, and heck, he played that game against Tennessee like he wanted to beat his former teammates. I think Addison Nichols did too. But I've been so impressed by how they've built up that depth. And again, I was going to say like that position, but I feel like these are guys that are just playing multiple positions because they're so versatile. And against a team like LSU, that comes up big because your speed, I mean, you got to be able to cover in this game.
I was talking to somebody in August, and they were talking about, this is a really inexperienced defense. I said, no, it's a really experienced defense. You just hadn't seen some of them before. These are guys that they evaluated on tape that have played a lot of football, sometimes at multiple stops, and really fit what they wanted to do. That I give Travis and Marcus Woodson an unbelievable amount of credit for evaluating what they needed, and then evaluating film, and also making sure that these guys would fit into the culture. You see them; they are on the same page. There's unity. They love their coach. I thought they would play well on defense this year, and I think I said that in August, and it's starting to kind of show up that they've got an SEC defense. And where Arkansas has failed the last 10 years has not been so much on offense. It has been defense. And that's why they've got a chance the second half of this season. Their offense is capable, probably going to improve as they go along. And, they're more and more time with Bobby Petrino and these coaches, and learn and figure out these option routes and figure out their protections. Braylon Russell, he missed on some protections against Tennessee. He's got to improve that, get more stats. But I think that they have same thing on offense, some versatility with their players, and I think they're going to get Hosky back at tight end, who's a blocker that gives them some things in short yardage. So I think we may have some fun the second half of this season. A lot of it, we started off this whole conversation. The health of Taylor Green is really important.
Well, you bring up Russell, and this is Clay. You're spot on with my experience with young running backs. It's not that they can't run the ball; they're very capable to go out there and get you 100 yards rushing. It's the other things. It's knowing who to pick up in the pass protection, and it usually takes a little longer because the last level that he was at, there wasn't a whole lot of that going on. Recognizing, and I mean, you'll still know who you have to block, but that's one of the hardest aspects that those running backs have to learn.
Yeah, in high school, either was taking a handoff or they were throwing it.
Or he was the misdirection guy, because if he went left, everybody looked left. Yeah.
The whole team went. Yeah. He got run over in a bull rush against Tennessee, and you wouldn't think that would happen.
Uh-oh.
It happened again. Those darn windmills out there. Those darn windmills. See, I would picture. I know it's not the same thing, but if you're a running back picking up the blitz, it's like if you're a running back and you know where the hole is supposed to be, you know where the hole is supposed to be. You don't always know where the blitz is coming from, and it happens like that. The ability to react that quickly and be able to handle somebody who probably is bigger than you, that's got a head start. It's like picking up the blitz seems like it is the most difficult thing to do as a running back.
Well, those D coordinators are pretty good, Phil. And if you notice a running back comes in the game and you notice they only do one pass protection, he doesn't know how to do multiple. Like they know what pass they know how to attack you. So yes, that's it is. But that playbook, man, it's like learning a foreign language. It's tough. It's not easy to go in there and learn that playbook.
Well, unfortunately, we'll have to end the segment with Clay. And again, those darn windmills, man, they just kind of get in the way of everything. Hope Clay has a great trip out to Colorado, and I'm sure we'll hear about it next week when he joins us again on Halftime on Wednesday. We can open up our hotline for you as we move to end hour number one in a moment. It's 877-377-6963. Clay's appearance here on Halftime and his columns at Hit That Line are brought to you by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Renewing your Arkansas hunting license now. You renew more than the hunt. You renew traditions. Hunting license season is wide open. You can pull the trigger today on the most essential part of the hunt and renew your hunting license at huntnatural.com. Back to wrap up our first hour in just a moment.
They were so convincing in their argument, they swung me.
This is Halftime.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911. In addition to AOG...
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, every matchup, breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, and NBA to political props. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack, poke. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor. We promise to keep them cold for you.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas.
Patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Hanging with Danny Cobb at American Welding Laboratories. Danny, tell us about the school.
Well, Tommy, we're going on 3 years in operation. We teach all aspects of welding, from stick welding all the way to combination pipe.
So how's the job market these days?
Job market's wide open, whether you want to stay local or hit the road. As a licensed institution, we have access to many grants, including the GI Bill now.
Great. How do we get started?
Come by 4400 South 16th, take a tour, talk to our instructors.
It's American Welding Laboratories. Find out more at theweldinglab.com.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Way back when in 67, I was a dandy. Sweet beans from Boston, so young and weird. Moved down Wisconsin, where the hell am I?
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
877-377-6963 when you want to get with us here on Halftime. Eduardo the Sherpa has given us a phone call, so he's first up with us today. Take us into the top of the hour, Eduardo. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great because, as Taylor Green said, that doesn't get any better other than Texas when you play the Tigers of Baton Rouge. And come Saturday in the Hog Pound, I woke early this morning. I went to the Gap Band. Also, I want to dedicate this to Charlie the Tuna. That away, Charlie. That away to show some passion on our Cowboys. Let them up, baby.
You heard that yesterday, didn't you, Eduardo? Wait a minute. Do you realize you are literally you were Charlie's inspiration yesterday? He was like Peter Cetera singing to you about being the inspiration. I've never heard Charlie so fired up yesterday. He wasn't doing an Eduardo imitation, but you could definitely feel the recipe that he had eaten earlier in the morning.
That's exactly right, and I love it. Has Charlie called in today?
No, he usually he slotted in about 6 minutes. I'm sure you'll be listening.
I want you to dedicate this song to him. You dropped a bomb on me by the Gap Band, because come Saturday, when the sun goes down, we're going to drop a bomb, an explosion on Woodpeck City on the Tigers of Baton Rouge. And when the dust settles, crank up Bon Jovi. Woo! I'm cranking up loud, baby, because it's going to be glorious, baby.
It could be glorious, Eduardo. Very well could be. Now, it's Tuesday, so you don't have to make this decision yet. But I don't remember the day you called in that you made the decision that if Arkansas upset Tennessee, you would eat raw liver. I don't know if you've actually followed through with it. What raw organ meat are we going with this weekend if Arkansas were to beat another top 10 team? Want to do some raw chitlins? What do you think about that?
I think I'll give it a try. Put it on the platter. Because I tell you what, woo, come Saturday, doesn't get any better. I mean, what a robbery we got going with the Tigers of Baton Rouge. And this year, when it goes down to the wire, baby, a thriller, when the dust clears, we're born in the USA. It's gonna be, and what's born in the USA? It's hometown, baby. So woo pig silly. So fan base, you know, Tigers have ferocious appetite. Let's go feed them a platter, baby.
Let's give it to them and make them like it or not like it. Who cares? Eduardo, and everybody can say this with me because you know what happens next. Thank you for listening to our show. Whew. Eddie, am I supposed to be a little nervous if Eddie is now inspiring some of our callers? Matt, it does make me a little nervous. We might have 5 or 6 Eduardos rest of the show.
His passion is contagious.
Yeah, it's contagious, all right. I don't know if I feel sick, but I actually feel a little better. It doesn't feel great to laugh these days. I got a little bit of a back thing going on. So please, Eduardo, don't be so funny next time. 877-377-6963. We'll get into the second hour in a moment. We'll have Alyssa Orange with us from Pig Trail Nation. Otherwise, wide open after the top of the hour, so stay with us.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Whether you're planting a tree in your backyard or trenching at a construction site, a call to 811 helps prevent dangerous damage to underground utilities and is the first step in keeping yourself and your community safe. Hitting a line can knock out service to your home and neighborhood, resulting in fines, damages, serious injury, or worse. Safety is in your hands. Call 811 before you dig. It's easy, it's free, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Black Hills Energy.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
It's time for the 17th Annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Heather balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest. It's time for the 17th Annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Heather balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Sunshine with us today. A high this afternoon near 65 north, mid-70s south. Clear skies, a little bit of frost possible tonight. Overnight lows will drop down low 30s north, upper 30s south. And then sunny skies on Wednesday. High temperatures in the lower to middle 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime into our second hour, 1 minute after 12 o'clock on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson here with Matt Jones. Christian Johnston is producing, and Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in about 15 minutes. Also in about 3.5 hours, Arkansas men's head basketball coach John Calipari will be speaking to the SEC Basketball Media Days crowd in Birmingham. Right about now, Mark Pope is up on the dais wearing what looks to be a Kentucky letter jacket. And
it's not going to end well in Kentucky for Mark Pope. I
don't think so.
I'm not against the guy. You know, like, hey, not against the guy one bit, but I don't know if he knows what he's – I wonder if he knows what he's doing.
Go from Rick Pitino to Tubby Smith to Billy Gillespie, who was an accomplished coach when he took that job, and then to John Calipari, Mark Pope after that. I guess one of these things sounds like one of these things is not like the other. But, hey, I'm not rooting against him either, truthfully. Not him, necessarily, as the head coach. Seems to be a likable enough guy. But I have a sense that the entire state of Tennessee or the entire state of Kentucky is going to be rooting against John Calipari, just based on their interactions on social media throughout this last however long it's been. What has it been since April? I can't count the months. But it's been long enough to know that they're kind of centered on Arkansas. I think maybe even more so than their own team sometimes. It's been very interesting. Women's basketball will be on the we'll get the spotlight tomorrow, and Mike Neighbors will be up there with a couple of his players, 3:25 in the afternoon. Much different expectations for the men's and women's side in basketball, according to the media, where Cal's team has been picked 4th in the SEC, and women's basketball has been picked 16th in the SEC out of 16 teams.
Who are the 3 teams that they picked ahead of the Hogs this year? Is Alabama?
Alabama's picked to win.
Auburn,
they're number 1. Auburn, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
Yeah, that's about what I. Man, Alabama has that little guard coming back. You got Grant. Yeah, and I think he might be. I don't think he's an NBA guy, but he's an All-American type college guard. He can go overseas, make a living for the next decade for sure. And then Grant Nelson, yeah, that's and then you got the Broom coming back at Auburn, their big 6'10" guy. He's not an NBA guy either. He's slow-footed, can't really. He'll have to go overseas as well, but that doesn't mean he's not a great he can be an all-conference college player for sure. He's got a lot of things to work on. But then you look at a guy like we got a guy like Brazil who's not an NBA guy yet, but he can be. He has the potential to if he'll figure it out a little bit.
Let's go to the phones. We got Charlie here with us. Charlie, I don't know. You probably just heard Eduardo a moment ago. I don't know if you guys have ever met, but you might want to meet at some point because I have a sense that this song actually means something to you.
Actually, so I haven't heard it. I didn't hear his call. So.
Well, it's obvious to me that Eduardo is your inspiration for why you got all fired up on the phone call yesterday. So I was just going to have this play underneath your call. Charlie, you're on halftime. How are you? You and Peter Cetera.
I'm like listening to it and like trying to. C-Unit, I know you're in here with me, buddy. Have you heard the 105.3 The Fan conversation
Yes.
between Jerry
I did
and
hear.
the,
I did hear. I did listen to that actually. Jerry, he didn't get loud or anything. He just basically told the guys, "You're not geniuses," and
Neither
it
is
almost
he,
sounded
but
like
okay.
he threatened their jobs, is what it sounded like too.
Okay, but and that's where I was about to go with this, because there's been a couple of well-known reporters that are in that area that are just doing their job, and he's got them run off. And to me, that signifies the kind of man that he is. Look, I know he's rich, and he has made all this money in his life, and he's a great owner. I get all that, but his son was on there yesterday, the day, and he did not act like that. And he answered the questions respectfully. You know, to me, there's a way to talk to people, and I don't care how much money you make. That was another, just, it was pathetic. I mean, it would be like somebody calling in here, Phil, and talking to you like that. I know you're not going to take it, but I'm probably going to call right after, and I'm fixing to let that guy have it too, because it's pathetic. I mean, you guys have a job you have a job to do. And if you want to be interviewed and you can't answer these questions, with some respect, then go away. Get out the seat.
Well, Charlie, part of this is like when you go on an appearance like that, and he's been doing these interviews for years, maybe even with these three gentlemen on 105.3 as well. It's not like he's hidden, behind his owner's suite like some other owners do and don't communicate with the paying public. He's done this for a long time. It can't be the first time that personnel questions have come up about, why this happened or why that didn't happen. It just sounds to me, more than anything, I don't know if it's a matter of him frustrated with the hosts. I just think it's a really angry owner who's responsible for the player, for all the transactions too. That's what it comes off as. It's like, it's not the walls are closing in on him because he owns the walls, but you just sense that frustration from him. I don't think it had anything to do with the hosts.
I'm not saying, I don't think it did at all. The hosts weren't disrespectful. Questions that they have asked before, I've listened. He used to have a segment on there with fans would even ask questions. You know why he stopped doing that is because they started asking questions that he didn't like so much. My thing is you can't have it both ways. So that's all I'm going to say about that. My mom actually got on to me yesterday. Mama Tuna sent me a text, and she was like, hey, they're really awesome on there. They kind of let you kind of have the floor yesterday, and you kind of, went at it.
Charlie, you got super fired up. I mean, it's like, yeah, I almost thought you were Eduardo for a moment there. It was different.
She was like, and then she heard Matt, and she said, Matt sounds like he did in college. And I said, yeah, Matt is still mad. And then she thought I said G-Unit, like she thought I was talking to a gangster. But I was like, C-Unit is really a gangster. He is cool like that. So we'll go with it. And then she heard you, Phil, and I was like, Phil is that dude too. He's the baseball guy. So and he gets.
I guess Mama Tune is helping you self-scout your calls sometimes too, Charlie. It's good. You gotta get another opinion. Your own opinion only matters for so much. So I know you'll trust what Mom says.
Yep. Y'all have a good one though. And
Thanks,
before
Charlie.
I go, yep.
No, go ahead. What do you got? Yeah, see, I just said thank you. And he said before he goes, and then he went. Too bad. Well, and I'll have to give Jerry this. It's not every general manager goes on weekly interviews. Not every owner. Heck, I don't know any owner that goes on weekly interviews on a popular radio station that every fan is listening to. So, I mean, I think Jerry does deserve credit for that. He doesn't hide behind his suit and behind his money. But you have to assume that these questions come out sooner or later about personnel. And it did. And he reacted in a way where it didn't come off all that well. Here's the thing about it, though. He don't care. Does it matter very much what his image is in this case? He's the owner of the most valuable team in professional sports. That's not about to change anytime soon. Those tickets will be sold. Cowboys games will continue to be some of the, if not the most highly watched programs across the country. So Just sounded like a frustrating owner that went off for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. Moves have to be made. What are they going to do? I mean, the personnel moves have to be made. Coaching moves have to be made. They're not a very, they're not. If you were just to say, hey, talented rosters, Phil, they don't have a top 10 talented roster. I mean, I don't know in the NFL if you can win a Super Bowl and not at least have a top 10 talent-wise on your roster. I don't see it.
Well, I think it's also a feeling of just getting your head handed to you in your own stadium.
If Detroit comes in, if San Fran comes in, if Baltimore comes in, they're just going to kick them in the teeth and make them like it. That's right. They can't beat any of those teams.
I mean, you keep in mind, they look good that first game, although the first game was against a really awful Browns team. Got their heads handed to them by the Saints, hung with the Ravens for a while. I don't know a lot of teams that are going to hang with the Ravens right now. I think
Ravens
that's the
are
best
tough
team.
if they're healthy.
I think that's the best team in the AFC right now.
If they're healthy, I'm with you.
Should deserve credit for a win at Pittsburgh. They had no business winning that game against the Steelers. They just don't play well at home, and when they don't play well at home, they get absolutely crushed.
Well, there's a corporate feel. It's probably one of the quietest stadiums in NFL land. I mean, it really is. It's got a corporate feel to it, and you have all this enthusiasm and all this Texas football pride that I know they have. But that's what you going back to. He still owns the most richest sports franchise, and that's part of his deal. It's totally a corporate feel.
Well, Cowboys fans, what do you think about that? 877-377-6963 for any of your thoughts on that. But we'll have to take the text because Alyssa Orange comes up in just a moment. Remember what's going on at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. You just missed the fall sale, but you can get on over there and get a look at all of their RVs and trailers on the lot. They've been serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years at the junction of I-40 and I-49 right beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma. They got everything you need on site, service and parts department, everything right there, plus the best staff in the state. It's Crabtree RV Center, online at crabtreerv.com. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in just a couple of moments on Halftime.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is Halftime. Do you need free legal advice? Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull on the Hit That Line podcast network.
Kevin, I don't think you've had a chance to read the police report yet. So I'll quiz you. What do you think? What would be your guess of the charge that led to Scotty Scheffler getting arrested under those facts?
Well, assault would probably have to be one of them.
That's right. Assault, second degree.
For more information, go to hickeyandhull.com.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
End-of-season savings are yours right now on Kubota hay equipment at Gray Brothers, including the new DM Series disc mowers, or try Kubota's DM Series trail mowers. And for the prettiest bale of hay on the market, try Kubota's VV Series round baler. With Gray Brothers low pricing and great interest rates from Kubota, it's time for your new hay equipment. That's Gray Brothers equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Deer hunting in the comfort of an enclosed 6x6 Lazy Man fiberglass box blind. It's affordable at Jelco Outdoors. Lazy Man Fat Girl Blinds, built here in Fort Smith with your choice of 6-foot or 10-foot tower blind platforms, starting at $22.99.99. Box blinds are great for taking the kids, with plenty of room and out of the weather. Check out the deer blinds at Jelco Outdoors. Hunt longer in the comfort of a Lazy Man box blind. Sold locally at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I snuck to a window to leave her a note. Will you call me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, hard to find. I can see it, yeah. Blossom, there.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Glad to have Alyssa Orange with us here on a Tuesday afternoon. Of course, sports director at Pig Trail Nation and a Tuesday contributor to Halftime. You can put that on your business card right there for you, Alyssa. How about that? You got room on your business card for Halftime contributor?
Man, I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I had a business card. but if I did, I would put it on there. It's an honor to be with you guys every week.
Yes, it is. So what do you think about your Dodgers over the first two games of this NLCS? The bullpen game worked the first time around against the Padres.
Yeah.
Did not work so much last night against the Mets.
It didn't. And here's the deal. And they even had opportunities to try to tie that game up or even take the lead late in that game. And so after shutting out the Padres twice and the Mets in this first game, I just felt like it was coming. You know what I mean? It's baseball. So, like, they're due. Something is going to happen. This isn't sustainable, right? So I kind of had that feeling. However, now you've got to go to New York and play 3 games. And that's a little nerve-wracking as well. But I was not surprised. I was not overly disappointed because I felt like it was coming. So get it out of the way now, move on, keep it going.
Alyssa,
Trying to be optimistic.
another New York team in a different sports. The New York Jets are making a lot of moves, firing their head coach. Couldn't get it done yesterday against the Bills. Apparently, they just signed Devontae Adams, who's an absolute beast if he's healthy. I know he's getting up there a little bit in age, but I mean, he becomes their best receiver on that team. Do you think that's enough? Do the Jets make the playoffs this year?
Ooh, well, it's pretty crazy to watch the Jets kind of just basically throw everything in the kitchen sink at the season and just see what sticks, right? But they've made bold moves and they're continuing to do so. And I have to tip my cap to the boldness that their front office has at the moment. But I'm a Dolphins fan, so the Jets not making the playoffs would be absolutely fantastic. I'm never going to root for that to happen. But they're trying really, really hard. So it's kind of fun to watch from afar to just see them. They're either self-imploding and we all get to sit back and watch, or they're geniuses and we all get to sit back and watch. We just got to figure out which one it is by the end of the season.
So you're like me. I enjoy when the Steelers are doing well, but I might enjoy when the Browns are just melting down the way that they are. And did you see Deshaun Watson has had like the worst start for the first 5 games of the season of any quarterback that has started in the last 4 or I think 5 seasons, which is just kind of mind-blowing about that.
Yeah, and here's the deal, Phil. Just go get Jameis. Just
yeah, you got a good. I mean,
like,
it's
I don't
like
understand. Like, what are we doing? Just let Jameis play. Can we please?
Stefanski just sticks with Watson. He just does. That's right. I mean, you got a fairly accomplished backup back there who's throwing for over 4,000 yards.
I know. At this point, I'm over here like, hey, Miami, if the Browns aren't going to do anything with him, go get Jameis. What are we doing?
Well, it also sounds like, well, at least McDaniel said yesterday that he expects Tua's going to play again this year. I don't know when it'll happen. They said that maybe he'd be available maybe by the end of the month. But, you hear, oh, Tua's going to play again this year. And you're just like, man, I don't know if he'd play again at all throughout, if he was done for his career.
Yeah, hold my breath a little bit. I tell you what, Phil, I'm not going to lie. The fact that Arkansas, Florida State, and Miami all had bye weeks this past week was very therapeutic for me. So it was really, really, really good for me to be like, oh, baseball. And so, yeah, when I think about Tua playing again, you just kind of hold your breath. And I am not an expert on anything. I can't be that selfish fan that wants to see him back on the football field because I don't know what that means for his health. And I just don't want him to make a mistake and ruin something. Or any kind of future that he might have. And it's scary because really nobody knows. And he's got a lot of educated people in his corner, and I understand that. But, yeah, I've got a lot of mixed emotions about it.
Hey, Alyssa, we got a big one coming up. I don't know how much of this LSU Ole Miss game you watched, but I think Phil and we kind of watched just about all of it. But did you learn anything? LSU has talent. What kind of jumped out off the screen to you about this LSU team?
Yeah, I got to watch it in pieces, to be honest with you guys. And I'm going to have to give a little bit of a shout out to Courtney Mims. So she got engaged on Saturday.
Yeah, I saw that.
And my job was to tape it. And so they were running a little behind at the square. And so I was just nervous, Nelly. And I was like, I'm going into Cheers and I'm just going to have a drink to calm my nerves a little bit and watch. And I watched some of that football game. And then I got to watch it at the celebration afterwards. But I think the biggest thing that's been interesting is LSU has had a lot of injuries early and they've still been able to sustain some success and then continue to figure out who they are. I was really impressed with that final drive, there with LSU and how they were able to piece that together and put that together. And then, I'm obviously a Jason Taylor fan, and I think Mason Taylor is a great asset for them at tight end. He's just big. He reminds me a lot of Hunter Henry. He's got that build, which I think he's going to be a problem for Arkansas because they haven't really gone against a team that's got a big tight end like Mason Taylor is. And so I'm very curious to see how they game plan with that on top of also, you've got Nussmeier, who is a veteran in this league. When you really look at it and look at all the other quarterbacks that they've played, I think LSU is continuing to play better. And I hate to say that because you thought at the beginning of the year, oh, Harold Perkins is beat up and they lost that running back after that first game. And maybe LSU has had too many blows that they're just not going to have success. And that's the opposite of what's happening. And so we'll see how it goes on Saturday.
You know, a thing I'm really excited to watch for this game, and you'll start to notice it immediately once LSU has their first drive, is what has Travis Williams cooked up here. Like that was so interesting to see him just change an alignment that I don't know if I'd seen Arkansas use for a full game before, whether he's been the DC or anybody else. And man, it worked against Tennessee. It really did. Now you're facing a completely different style offense. But you heard what Sam Pittman said yesterday about, Williams is more comfortable in his role as the second-year defensive coordinator, more confident. I think he's got a real sense of the kind of players he's got around him and what it is that they can do. They've all bought in. I don't know what it is he's going to plan, but I can't wait to see what he's got because I think the man's kind of a brilliant coach.
Yeah, I think he's really shown exactly what kind of defensive coordinator he can be this season so far. And I think now it's okay, how do you continue to be creative? Because you were able to have a great game plan to slow down Ollie Gordon. And of course, Oklahoma State didn't equal a win, but you accomplished really what you wanted to do defensively. Same thing with Auburn and shutting down Auburn. And then you look at what you did against Tennessee and making those changes. But now teams have tape, right? So how does he continue to be creative and change things up and not get predictable and show his hand too much? And what I really loved, you mentioned what Sam Pittman said, but, Sam, sometimes when you come into a place, you're a little nervous to be who you are or your defense full on. And now I think in year two, Travis Williams says, okay, now I really know, like you mentioned, I know who I have. I know what my personnel means. And now I'm ready to be this offensive coordinator that you hired me to be a season ago. And so that's what we're seeing right now. And I'm telling you what, I mean, it has been so fun to watch this defense continue to be impressed with how they played, not only in the secondary, but I was really nervous about this defensive line the first couple of weeks where it just felt like maybe they weren't clicking the way that we thought they were supposed to this season. And I feel like I got proven wrong, which I'm 100% okay with after this Tennessee game, that, okay, maybe this defensive line is finally starting to get it together and able to turn a page. And so if they can get all of that working, man, it's going to be fun. And then you've got a really big task on what you do with Travis Williams at the end of the season to make sure that he doesn't leave Arkansas.
Hey, Alyssa, there's some big ones in the SEC this week. I want to kind of get your thoughts on Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, Texas. Which one of those? Who do you got winning those games? And then who is the second best team in the SEC right now? Is it Georgia? Is it Texas A&M? Is it LSU?
Yeah, so I really think, and we were talking about this in the office, and not saying that Tennessee is bad, but maybe Tennessee isn't who everyone thought that they were at the beginning of the year. And so I'm really curious to see. I mean, they beat Florida, but in overtime. And so it's like, how do they react and bounce back from the last two games, which one was a loss and one was a skin-of-your-teeth win over a Florida team at home. And now you've got Alabama, who's kind of the same thing, where they're barely skating by as well. I'm really curious about how that game plays out, and I think Alabama wins that game. Man, Texas, I think, is one of the most complete teams right now, and I think Texas beats Georgia. And then to answer your question, it's really difficult because when you look at what Georgia has left on their schedule, it's a pretty easy road to Atlanta. I think Texas goes to Atlanta. That other team could be A&M. You look at what A&M has left on their schedule too, and I think that they've got an opportunity to go. I think LSU, their road's a little tougher. I think Ole Miss is out of it. They've got 2 losses now, and maybe Alabama wins out the rest of the way. But I'm looking at Georgia and Texas A&M to match up against Texas in Atlanta for the SEC championship. And now that we don't have divisions, what's going to be pretty crazy if that happens, guys, is that Texas and Texas A&M play each other that final game of the regular season, and then they turn around and possibly play in Atlanta. That'd be pretty wild.
I mean, there's other leagues where that could happen. I don't know a bit about it happening this year. In terms of like the Big Ten, you could see Ohio State and Michigan playing back-to-back weeks. I think Army and Navy are going to in the American Conference. They don't play each other. They're in the same conference. Their annual traditional matchup is not a conference game. they probably are going to be undefeated in that league going into the conference championship. They'll play each other two weeks in a row. I mean, we won't know what to do with that. It'll be, I mean, honestly, it's a good thing for college football. More Army-Navy games.
It is. It really is. And man, it's been so fun this football season. I think a lot of us thought that, there was only going to be a handful of teams and then everybody else, but that is not the case. And it has been one of the most exciting college football seasons in a long time, in my opinion, from just watching the whole entire landscape, all of the realignment, what's going on. It has been, I mean, you had Oregon go down and beat Ohio State in Oregon last week. I mean, how exciting was that game? It's been really, really fun this year.
It kind of, to me, it's like mirrored what the chaos of the offseason felt like, where you could barely keep up with the transactions and who's coming and who's going and all of that. That's what Saturdays feel like right now is, all these amazing finishes. It's the thing is like, I don't usually get to do this, but on Saturday, I was like flipping between 5 different games because they were all really good and they all came down to the very end. And it's like, hey, more of this, much more of this, please.
Right. Yes, exactly. And so it's nice when we're able to have a break and watch some really good football and not feel like, oh, here we go again. The top 5 teams are just going to win in blowouts. What else is going on Saturday? So I've enjoyed it.
Hey, last thing. I was going to bring it up later. Today's the anniversary of Gibson's home run off of Eckersley in the '88 World Series. Maybe the most surprising World Series championship of my lifetime. Now, that was a good Dodgers team, but you look at the players that were on the A's then, and they were at the apex of their powers. That was a great A's team. But the Gibson home run, I think that's my favorite home run that I've been alive for. The fact that was his only at-bat of that series. He was hurt. I'm not a Dodgers fan, but how can you not love that Dodgers team?
I know. It was fun. And I tell you, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I grew up with a 6-foot cutout of Dan Marino in my house beside a framed picture of Kirk Gibson with his arm up. So, I didn't have options when I was growing up about what teams that I was rooting for, nor did I have any option of hearing about that over and over and over again. And I get goosebumps, and I didn't live it like you did. So it's pretty cool and really, really special. And it'd be really special if the Dodgers could win another World Series, because I'm just really over the COVID World Series comments. We got to get past that. So
yeah,
I
understand what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean there too. I think people feel the same way about the Lakers title that year. Alyssa, we'll leave it there.
See, and if I liked the NBA super much, I'd be a Lakers fan too. This is brutal.
Alyssa, thanks for your time. Always appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week.
You got it. Alyssa Orange, Pig Trail Nation. By the way, Kirk Gibson, 88 National League MVP, 2-time World Series champion, could have probably played in the NFL. He was a star running back at Michigan State University. He had his choice of sports to play. Hey, get over to Andy's Frozen Custard. Anytime you're looking for something sweet and delicious, Andy's has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around, and take home a pick 6 for college football Saturdays. You can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat. Andy's Frozen Custard. They've got locations in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street, and DWD, Dave Ward Drive. Also in North Little Rock on JFK. It's Andy's Frozen Custard, walk-up or drive-through, ready to serve you. Our number on halftime is 877-377-6963. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after the break.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The perfect hot tub is waiting for you at Burton Pools and Spa's Warehouse Clearance. Whether you're seeking relaxation or quality time with family, we've got you covered with Hot Spring Hot Tubs, the world's best-selling brand. Over 100 hot tubs in stock, ready for delivery and on sale. Hot tubs starting at $39.99 and payments as low as $58 a month. Visit our hot tub warehouse clearance in Springdale, Greenland, or Fort Smith today. Burton Pools and Spas. We don't just sell hot tubs, we build long-term relationships.
This is halftime. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Dandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, every matchup, breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, and NBA to political props. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack, poke. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Dandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One.
Stay home, feel looking at the peace flow through. Shivers in my spine, caught in the rain. Melts me like butter, melts me like butter. A little bit lonely, a little bit pain, a little love. And I do not know I love you, say it's alright.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Welcome back on Halftime on day 13 of 55 straight days with football on television. Matt, I think I'm going to have to skip all these games. All teams with losing records in the Sun Belt or Conference USA tonight. Troy at South Alabama, Kennesaw State at Middle Tennessee. Those teams have combined to go 1-10. And then La Tech at New Mexico State. Even though Arkansas plays La Tech in the second to last game of the year, I'll probably be skipping that one. Instead, I got Guardians-Yankees tonight at 6:38.
You get Poland and Croatia here coming up this afternoon. Spain and
Sounds like a rivalry
Serbia, Portugal, Scotland. Yesterday, I watched Belgium, France, and France is a top 3 team in the world. Like there's just, that's just what they are. And then Belgium's a top 10, top 12 team. There's so much talent out there, such good soccer to watch. So you got the UEFA Nations League that's going on right now, just in the afternoon, to keep you occupied to about 4.
That's right. Something that, so it's like I would probably just get my work done for Arkansas football for this weekend and then crash it out. But I got this baseball game to watch too, because I'm not moving very well these days. It's Cecil here with us, 877-377-6963. Cecil, good to talk to you today, man. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm good. Actually, I just reposted the picture we took last year at the Taste of Fort Smith. That's a really great picture.
Missed you at that.
That's a great
Missed you this year, Cecil.
Yeah, you weren't at the food show this time, Cecil.
I was busy. I was going to come because I did a lady, I made some pull-up banners for her. So I went down there the day before and helped her set her stuff up. But I couldn't get down there, man. And then when I wanted to go, it was over with. So, man, I'm sitting here in my office listening to my favorite freaking radio station, man, eating some spring rolls and scanning my tickets for the game Saturday. You can't beat that. I'm telling you, boy.
Cecil, where do you sit? Where do you sit for football games?
I just buy tickets, man. I've had season tickets before, but the Tennessee game, I was in section 127, where Tennessee go in and come out at. Me and my son, we were on the first row there. I'm not going unless I sit close. That's just how it goes.
Sure. I don't blame you. So you kind of sit all over. So were you on the field 2 Saturdays ago?
No, Phil, come on, man. I ain't going to do that. I'm too old for that. Hey, it was a guy. It actually was a guy. He looked as old as me, probably older, and everybody was jumping off that thing. It was like a story and a half. Man, that was a long way. There's no way I would have. You couldn't have paid me to do that. I said, hey, I looked at him and stared him right in the face. I said, are you really going to jump? He said, yeah. I'm like, wow.
Call it a once-in-a-lifetime chance. They'll tell you it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to rush the field. It's also a once-in-a-lifetime chance to shatter your leg by dropping yourself a story off.
Really?
Off
and I've had numerous surgeries on my knee. But me and my son, we took some really good pictures, background pictures with the goalpost going down. So I'm gonna blow that up and put it on my wall. And hey man, that's the first game. I've been a lot of Razorback games. That's the first one. I mean, who? How many times are you gonna go to a game? I mean, every now and then the goalpost might come down. It's got to be the right moment, the right rankings, and everything. Everything's got to hit right for that to happen, and you got to win. So, but yeah, man, the LSU game. I actually been watching LSU this season, and that quarterback, that tight end is basically his favorite target. And if we can shut that down, and I looked at the schedule just now, and we got 5 out of 6 games at home, and we could really do really well. And I'm in the car riding, so I'm gonna hang up, man. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll get back with y'all later. Have a blessed day. Thanks.
Great to talk to you. Thank you very much. Wanted to play this piece of Sam Pittman's press conference from yesterday, talking about Garrett Nussmeier, but listen to how he finishes this soundbite.
He moved up in the pocket there on that last one, threw a dart to tie the game. He is a little bit scary scrambling as well, but he knows where his pocket is. He's good in the pocket. They want to throw the football, but we have to stop their running game. And when we have to, they can't have both of them. Would be in trouble. They'll want to be in 5 wides, but we need to get them to throwing the football, and hopefully, we can pick a few of them and get to him and get some negative plays. But
I know LSU runs the ball about as few of the time as anybody else in the SEC. But I was listening to Brian Kelly's press conference yesterday, and he's talking about any run of 4 yards or more, or if you get a first down, is a successful run. Anything that's anywhere between 3.7 yards to 3.9 yards a carry is a push. Anything below that isn't the play they're looking for. So we think of LSU so often, and they had a couple of big runs against Ole Miss. We think of LSU as a passing team first and foremost, but they're looking for chunks, and they can get those chunks, 20, 25 yards, or even they'll be happy with a 5 or 6 yard run. And you know, they're going to try to run it. Not as often as Tennessee, not as often as Texas A&M, not as often as Auburn, because they got the other aspect of this that they trust a little bit more. But Matt, they are going to try to run it. They ran it 24 times against Ole Miss. Kelly said they had 10 runs, which were acceptable, 9 that were not, and the other 5 were a push. So I think if you get them on the 3.5 yard a carry side by the time you get to halftime, they'll have to change the way they think about this a little bit. And then maybe you just find a team that's going empty set and you try to pin your ears back. You might get them. You might be able to get to them in the backfield, or you kind of turn them into a one-dimensional team. We think of them as one-dimensional, but they're really not.
It's kind of, we use this word a lot more on defense, opportunistic, than we do on offense. But they're a running team when it's the opportunistic point, when it's time to do it. They take great opportunity out of it, but they're not gonna force feed it where we're the other way around. We need to run the ball a little bit more to set up some things. But yes, they'll cut you if you're not looking for it and you're not reading your keys and being sound. Man, they got some running backs that are good, man. That's the one thing about playing LSU. They got good players everywhere on that team.
877-377-6963 to get with us here in halftime. And I do wonder, it's like even if Taylon's out there playing, it's just there's no way he can be 100% 2 weeks after taking that hit. So as often as Arkansas runs the ball just because that's the identity that they have, doesn't it feel like it's even more important to be able to establish that early in this game, to take some of the pressure off of Taylon if he is playing, or if it's not Green, then you got a freshman making his first career start. So the ability to establish the run and maintain it throughout the game, I think that's important for any game this team plays, Matt, but maybe none more so than this one against LSU.
Well, we have. I think it'll be a similar game plan, Phil, where we want to control time of possession, and the way they throw the ball, I guess they're not really worried about time of possession, but it does a couple things. It's you're able to change field position, and you're able to keep your defense fresh, because this defense is going to have to fly around for 60 minutes. It's not you can't go out there and take a couple plays off, because if you do, then they'll make you pay.
Well, on Friday, Matt Jones and I will be at Pinnacle Grove's Senior Living in Rogers. That's halftime live, 11-2 at Pinnacle Grove's. This is where luxury meets community spirit. You can discover everything from a state-of-the-art fitness center to a heated indoor swimming pool. You live your best life at Pinnacle Grove's with no chores, all the fun. It's Rogers' favorite resort-style senior living community. They're at 5522 West Northgate Road in Rogers. That's halftime live this Friday, 11-2, Pinnacle Grove's Senior Living in Rogers. We're back in just a moment. We'll wrap up our second hour. It's halftime.
This is halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Celebrate your pastor at the Solid Rock this month. October is Pastor Appreciation Month, and to help you celebrate, the Solid Rock is giving you a $5 gift card to give to your pastor with any purchase of $50 or more. And while you're there, be sure to check out the wonderful assortment of items that would make great Pastor Appreciation gifts. Celebrate Pastor Appreciation Month at the Solid Rock, the store that honors Christ all year long, off South 74th near Sam's Club.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
The Study Basketball Training has moved to the Hangout in Fort Smith. With basketball training classes from kindergarten through high school, there is a spot for your athlete. Depending on your skill set and training needs, the Study offers 3 class options: fundamentals, advanced, and 94 feet. You can also work on your explosiveness with Vertimax training or perfect your shot on the Dr. Dish machine. The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or thestudyhoops.com for more details. Fitness, sports, and now the Study Basketball Training. Let's hang out.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Your mama don't send you down rock and roll. Your mama don't send you down rock and roll. When evening rolls around and it's time to go to town, where do you go? To rock and roll. The old folks say that you got to lay ten. If you're out on a date and you bring it home late, it's a sin. Just like years that you know you're gonna lose and never win. Say it again. And it's all because
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Well, I might not be getting around so well over the last couple of days, but Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy might have it a little bit worse, not just because his team has dropped 3 games in a row. He let the media know yesterday something a little bit different happened to him over the off weekend. Go for it, Christian.
Well, I had a little run-in with my cattle over the weekend.
Well, I don't know if I hear anything.
I guess they've been watching us play.
So I'll play it instead here myself.
Well, I had a little run-in with my cattle over the weekend, and I guess they've been watching us play and got headbutted. So I've got a bad eye that I didn't think would be particularly enjoyable for people when they were looking at my pretty face in a live interview. But more importantly, it's full of blood and I get dizzy, and so it's not easy to be upright and be in a normal function. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Other than that, he's doing great. That sounds incredibly painful. It sounds like, yeah, I wouldn't want to see what that face looks like too, but they'll see it on television on Saturday when they take on BYU. That's I hadn't heard that one before. Headbutted by one of your own cattle, but he's going to be able to get out there and coach. Tough man.
Yeah, got him a nice farm out there. It's pretty good, man. He's got it. He's got a good life, man. He's got it going on.
He's got a good life, but right now he's got kind of an ugly looking eye.
Well, he's not that pretty to begin with, though. It's not like he's kind of gives him a little more character.
I never went cow tipping. So I never put myself in a position. I don't own cattle and never had to round them up or anything like that. Never did the city slickers thing. So it's not like anything I would ever associate myself with. But I remember, I guess it would have been like 98. I was working in the Pioneer League. They have 2-man umpiring crews. They travel late at night through, some pretty wide open spaces throughout the state of Montana. And there were 2 umpires that didn't make it to their location because they ran into a cow right on the middle of the highway. They ran into the cow right in the middle of the highway. One of the umpires suffered facial injuries that caused him to miss the rest of the season. The other guy was okay, but that's the only time I've ever heard of cattle being a reason why somebody may end up missing a game. I'm sure it's happened out there before, but this one definitely jumped out and caught my eye. And as you'd pointed out previously, Matt, that loss to Oklahoma State now, they've played some decent teams of late. 22-19 loss to Utah, 42-20 loss against Kansas State, and coming off 38-14 loss against West Virginia. And BYU's playing about as well as anybody in the Big 12.
Hey, with all this conference realignment stuff, maybe we can get in Boise State's conference. I think we could win that one.
I've seen the articles about Arkansas would be better in the Big 12 or better in that conference. They'd be better in that. They'd be better in a lot of other conferences. But I think part of the question.
No, we're still staying in the SEC. It's just maybe every once in a while to go have a running back win the Heisman. If Darren McFadden can't win the Heisman at Arkansas, putting up that gauntlet going to the SEC, what a running back in Boise playing those guys is going to win the Heisman?
We'll go into our third hour in a moment and open up our phones at 877-377-6963. Stay with Halftime. We're right back.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3001 0 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith now has meal deals starting at $9.99, which includes an entree, side, and fountain drink. Try their delicious 6-ounce sirloin served with seasoned fries for $15.99. The Bacon Ranch Chicken Sandwich with seasoned fries, $11.99. Chicken Caesar Salad for $10.99 and more. Their meal deals also include tasty chicken fettuccine Alfredo served with garlic breadsticks for $12.99 and a cheeseburger with seasoned fries for only $9.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Sunshine with us today. A high this afternoon near 65 north, mid-70s south. Clear skies, a little bit of frost possible tonight. Overnight lows will drop down low 30s north, upper 30s south. And then sunny skies on Wednesday. High temperatures in the lower to middle 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Streaming on hitthatline.com. You got to take it here. That was perspective. Man, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Well, take it to the house. Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime into our third hour on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com and Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Colton Little's in the studio producing now. I'll be talking with Bill King in about 15 minutes or so from Nashville Sports Radio. Get his thoughts on some of the games that are coming up this weekend. Of course, Arkansas, LSU be the top of your list. Alabama, Tennessee would be on the top of some other people's lists. And yeah, that'll be about 15 minutes. You got any questions about college football for Bill? You can text him in at 877-377-6963. Matt, I was looking through the list of Heisman Trophy winners. There hasn't been a Heisman winner that doesn't come from what we would call a power conference since Ty Detmer's 1990 season.
BYU.
That's right.
Yeah.
Didn't he set a record that year for most yards in a single season? I might be wrong, but
Yeah, I think if it's the Hal Mummy, the Mike Lee. I'm trying to think the coaching tree that was down there, but they were doing that run and shoot.
Val Edwards was the coach.
Yeah. But they were throwing it all over. They were one of the first teams to just go 4 wide and just go get it.
Yeah, Detmer. Again,
he didn't have that. He was a very just accurate pass. Like he was super accurate, but he didn't have a hose by any means.
Yeah, 5,188 yards that year that he won the Heisman Trophy. I think that was, at least then, the single-season record for passing yards. And I was just looking at it because it takes I would assume that by now it takes a record-setting season for a player that's not in what is now the Power Four or Notre Dame to win a Heisman Trophy. So I think. Matt, I think your point about the competition that Ashton Jeanty is facing is legitimate, but what if he breaks the single-season rushing record? 2,628 yards is the record set by Barry Sanders in
a Power 5 school.
At a Power 5 school. That's
Give him
right.
to Doak Walker then, if that's what you want to do. But I just don't know. I think the Heisman should come from the
Power
5.
4 ranks.
Yeah, Power 4, sorry.
Where you are facing tougher competition on a week-by-week basis. Absolutely. I mean, I can see the point to that. I do think there will be some folks. Look, I don't have a vote on this, and truthfully, I don't care who wins the Heisman.
I don't either.
It's just an interesting story.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be some voters that are going to go for Jeanty, and he is the odds-on favorite right now. But, we'll find out in a few weeks. And right now, there isn't anybody that's stopping him. There isn't anybody that's going to stop him out of the teams that he's playing. I know Dylan Gabriel is the guy that is your favorite. And, I mean, he's going to be facing much tougher competition than Jeanty is. Much tougher. So,
well, Travis Hunter would be the guy that I think that is my favorite. But what I'm saying in Dylan Gabriel is he should be the leader in the clubhouse. Again, I don't have a dog.
Well, this would be the
fight.
turn, right? This would be the turn on the golf course.
Well, you start winning. Yeah, and you start winning games. You start having moments. He hasn't missed a game yet, and the performance he put on against Ohio State, wins their next big game. It kind of writes itself. Who does when is Quinn Ewers? Is he back? Is he who do they play? Georgia. What if he goes out there and throws 7 touchdown passes?
Sure,
he'd be right up there.
877-377-6963. How do you view the Heisman Trophy? Do you view it as someone that should come from Power 4, or would you consider, if you had a vote, voting for Ashton Jeanty? And I think, maybe it's based upon a few things here or there. Does he set a record for rushing yards in a single season? That's tough to overlook. And relative to the rest of the competition, and you still have half a season left to do it. I did see, and I don't have the sound of it, without actually saying that Oregon did the 12 men on the field on purpose, Lanning basically said, this is something we've worked on. He was asked the question about having 13 men on the field, and the way he answered it was by saying, yeah, we had an extra safety over there to double cover on the left side, something we work on based upon the situation. Never said yes. We planned on having 12 players on the field, but he basically said yes. We planned on it, and I haven't read the story about it, but there was a headline saying now it's like you remember when Kenny Pickett made the fake slide and got away with it, and the next thing you know they change a rule. You can't fake slide. Looks like they're looking to change a rule now. The Dan Lanning rule is coming up first, and truth, what do you think about that? Because that's a loophole in the rules where it truly was a brilliant move. To put an extra defender on the field, know that all you're doing is you're wasting some time off the clock for the offense, and it worked. It worked perfectly. Do you look at that as gaming the system, or taking advantage of a loophole? Is this something you think needs to be changed?
It's just it's very situational. That's something that's not going to come up a lot. If you run a play and time goes off the clock, you're going to start putting time back on every time there's a penalty. I don't know that. I just think it's a situational play, heady play. Sometimes you see how just depending on how much time's on there, you'll have an athlete go back there and they snap him the ball and he runs around, then runs out of the back of the end zone. Especially if you're up 18 points with a certain amount of time left, you give up a safety and it doesn't matter if you give the ball back. If you can take out 11 seconds, there's no way they can win.
I know in some situations the rules are different inside 2 minutes. And I guess I didn't realize this, but watching the Monday night game yesterday, they don't hold the snap inside 2 minutes, so substitutions defensively are a lot more difficult within those last 2 minutes. College football, we made the change. Once you get inside 2 minutes, the clock does stop on first downs. They stop, up until 2 minutes left in either half, it doesn't stop. So maybe that's where the change ends up coming from, but I don't know if I actually agree with the change of the rule because nobody would have thought of it until Dan Lanning did something about it. Joe in Prairie Grove says Heisman jumped the shark. He doesn't care about it. Jeremiah says after they gypped McFadden, he has no interest in it. And Hog Wild thinks it's going to be Ashton Jeanty. So, and it still is. It's kind of interesting too because I don't think that the Heisman Trophy really is what it means that it is. I don't know if it's all. I think it's the quarterback on who people view as the best team, or the most exciting quarterback more than anything else. But it still is the most famous trophy to go to a single player. It's kind of interesting when you think about that. 877-377-6963. Looks like the Steelers are going to be going with Russ Wilson, Matt.
I saw that. How are
Tomlin
you
said he's
excited?
in consideration to start, which means he's going to start.
They play the Jets next, I think. Oh my goodness.
I love the idea of this. I really do. I told you I thought both of them would start games this year. I think Justin Fields would be on track for something like 17 fumbles.
Oh my goodness.
If he were to play a full season. It's not like he's putting the ball in harm's way with his arm, but he's not holding on to it. And for as often as he's got to run, that's a big problem. So, yeah, Russ Wilson in consideration to start over the Jets, but that means he's going to start. Davante Adams getting traded to the Jets, getting the band back together, Matt. It's been 3 years since Rodgers and Adams were together with the Packers. The magic doesn't always just show up once again. It's pretty difficult to find that magic again, but I'll say this. Rodgers is better than any quarterback that Adams was playing with in Vegas right now. Garrett Wilson's a good wide receiver, though. Adams is special. He's a little different.
If Adams is healthy, he's a top 7 receiver, top 5 receiver in the game. Yes, you're exactly right. You just don't know. 3 years removed, NFL time for a receiver. That's how long can he play? But yes, if he's healthy and can go, their offense got a lot better because you have to account for him. And you slip up one time, just like we're talking about LSU. LSU has so much talent that you slip up. They're probably the most explosive team I've seen play this year, just in the way that they can get chunk yardages. That's what Davante Adams can do. You slip up, man, he'll make you pay.
Can he kick field goals? They kicked a couple. There was one off the left post,
they missed
one off
two,
the right post
Yeah.
yesterday. I don't know if Adams can kick field goals much, but they had to do something outside of firing the coach, especially after another close loss. This is what the Jets are right now. They are the team that is just good enough to hang around and lose on the last drive. It's happened 3 weeks in a row. They had to do something outside of firing the coach and changing the play caller and actually get Aaron Rodgers, I guess, another weapon to throw to and make him happy because it's one of his guys.
Oh, no question. And if you see him manned up one-on-one, you know where Rodgers is going with the ball.
Yeah, you certainly do. But that's Wilson on one side, Adams on the other.
And you know what happens too? Wilson gets better, Phil. Like because he was the A player, and now he gets to go be Scottie Pippen. He gets to go be Robin. It's gonna be, he should feel a little more confidence, a little weight off his shoulders, knowing that the game plan, the number one corner, the way they're rolling coverages, not necessarily is going to be on him all the time.
Quick break on halftime, joined by Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in just a moment. Stay with us.
This is halftime. Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, college at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
This is Northside head football coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Be afraid is a luxury. Now cool your engines for me. Come on, sweetheart. I want so much shade.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Joining us on the hotline is Bill King, radio host on WNSR, speaking on the airwaves 6 to 9 Monday through Friday, and the king of college football talk. Always appreciate your time on a Tuesday, Bill. How are you?
Hey, guys. We were just talking. This year has a different feel to it. It's more uncertain than any year I remember since 07. That's the feeling. That's the vibe.
Mirrors the offseason a little bit too. Chaotic. The this like the non-playing portion of the season and the playing portion of the season, Bill, are mirroring each other, aren't they?
I was just telling my audience this morning, you realize we're under 2 months from the next Stampede transfer portal. 2 months, guys. We're less than 2 months.
That's wild to think about. But before then, you know, you got a lot of football to play, and you know, teams that made big statements this last week. Obviously, Arkansas did not play. The biggest game in the SEC this weekend is Texas against Georgia. Felt like Penn State and Oregon, though, man. I mean, I know that's the Big Ten. It's not the SEC, but those potentially were 2 of the biggest wins in the country last weekend.
Despite Southern Cal exhibiting the flaws that they have, going out there and winning that game is not easy. I don't care what you're taking out there. And Penn State's obviously got lots of talent. Their quarterback, Drew Aller, is finally playing, and he's healthy, elected 5-star recruit. They've got the best tight end in the country who's playing magnificently for them. They've got a pretty steady defense as well. This is the best Penn State team since the 16 team that won the Big Ten and beat Ohio State.
Bill, another game this week that looks like it could be a playoff elimination game. You know, Ole Miss, first of all, I thought they left 24 points in the first quarter alone against LSU. And you can't do that in Baton Rouge because then LSU has the talent. They have the dudes. It's kind of like they were spotting them 24. I still couldn't couldn't believe that. But it's kind of an elimination game of sorts. The same thing, Alabama going to Knoxville to play the Tennessee Volunteers in what could be an elimination game. How do you see that one going?
Tennessee is exhibiting flaws that I did not think they had. And one would be their offensive tackle play, guys, is atrocious, mainly in pass protection, but it's atrocious. We've got sloths at the Nashville Zoo that get into their pass protection stance quicker than the Tennessee offensive tackles do. It's that bad. And the quarterback's seeing ghosts. He really is. And it's trickling down. Now, the defense has been outstanding. The defense is better than I thought. Alabama has gone from, I thought, the best-looking team in the country against Georgia, particularly first half, to now they're fundamentally unsound defensively. And the passing game's starting to hiccup with the quarterback struggling some, Milroe, and he's not as accurate as he was earlier in the year. So lots of flaws on both of these teams.
I'm told so often it's about talent when it comes to how a team performs against another team, and I just think I get Vanderbilt is much better than they were the year before, but Vandy should not be beating Alabama, and it doesn't feel like this South Carolina, although they're a little difficult to figure out, Carolina this year. But that's a game that Alabama could have lost as well. What is going on with the Crimson Tide right now? Because these are not necessarily games that under Nick Saban they played very closely. What are you seeing with DeBoer?
They look undisciplined right now, and their defense plays a 3-3-5, which is a very unsound defense in this league. And they're not adjusting to it. They're losing confidence on that side of the ball. They're struggling at times getting off the field on third down. That's another problem. Did everything they could to give that game away to South Carolina. And look, guys, Vanderbilt, I've got 50 years of Vanderbilt. And 49 of that, probably 48 of that is horrible football. This is a very good football team. They've got the quarterback of the year in the league. Now, he's not going to be the highest draft pick among quarterbacks, but there's not a quarterback better than Diego Pavia right now, and not a better leader. And I'll tell you the other thing. This team is very physical. This Vanderbilt team is incredibly physical, and they are very, very pumped up. They get Ball State and then Texas. Now, think about that. In 2 weeks, Texas comes to town, and maybe I doubt it, but maybe Vandy thinks they can shock the world.
Bill, speaking of Texas, they host Georgia, who I think is the second best team in the country, at least the second best team in the SEC right now. Man, what just an epic matchup. It seems like the SEC just keeps giving them to us week after week. Is this a Heisman moment maybe for Carson Beck or Quinn Ewers? Can they catch the running back at Boise State? Or I think Dylan Gabriel's the leader in the clubhouse right now, but those guys I know are up there. But this Georgia-Texas game is going to be massive.
It is. Carson Beck's not playing well. Not consistently. Now, he's a good quarterback, but he's not playing consistently well. Some of that would be they don't really have proven playmakers yet who have developed or proven themselves at wide receiver. Not going to complain about Brock Bowers because you're never going to replace him. And the offensive line, their best offensive lineman is a kid named Tate Ratledge, who's a first-team All-American. He's not been available. He's been injured. And they're still not quite as nasty as we think they ought to be on defense. Now, having said that, they could beat anybody in the country on a given day. I don't like their chances right now, which is rare when I'm talking about Georgia. Don't think I like their chances at Royal Memorial Saturday night to win that game, though.
Hey, Bill, I wonder what you make of Kirby Smart giving a shove to the Mississippi State quarterback. And I'm not going to put it on the level of Woody Hayes punching a Clemson player in a bowl game, but that's something you can't do, even if he says he didn't see him. And I can't imagine he didn't see him unless it had something to do with rage, and I'm not sure that that's an excuse. If it was a lesser coach on a lesser program, would there be a suspension instead of not even a slap on the back of the wrist?
Maybe. You're right. It wasn't 1978 Gator Bowl. Clemson, Ohio State, Charlie Bowman catches a forearm to the throat. from Woody Hayes. It's not that. I kind of believe Kirby Smart. Now, that doesn't make it right. Emotional at the time, and it's chaos. He said we were trying to substitute. It was a empty backfield look, which we'd been struggling against. Now, all of those are that's word salad. I understand. I can understand the emotions of the sideline. Now, shoving that kid's completely wrong. But I'm not surprised. He did say, I saw a clip where he contacted the head coach, and then he talked to the kid, and they smoothed everything out, and apparently everything's okay there. But, yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of people that would like to see more done than nothing. I've heard a lot of that for sure.
Hey, Bill, Oklahoma State going to BYU. A lot of people picked Oklahoma State to win the Big 12. They're 0-3 in conference play, BYU being 6-0, 3-0. Has Oklahoma State, have they let go of the rope there in Stillwater?
Yeah, they have. I thought after the Arkansas game, they were a team to beat in the Big 12. A couple teams to beat, but he'd be one of them. And it's not working out that way. And that's probably a loss. I was going to say it's a losable ball game. It's more than a losable ball game. It's a likely loss ball game, and I think this season's getting away from them, no doubt.
What has happened with Kansas? It's like we're talking Big 12 for a moment here. They've got the same quarterback. They've got the same running back. They got the same coach. What has happened with the Jayhawks?
Yeah, I'm a huge Lance Leipold guy, and I think I saw a stat. Is he 5-8 in the last 13? I hate to throw that out there because I'm his PR guy, right? I'm his PR agent, but yeah, it's a struggle, and I guess it's another lesson that history typically teaches lessons about repetition, and they're not epic levels of bad like we've seen.
They got a lot of 4-point losses, yeah.
Correct, but they're just not good enough right now, and it's Kansas personnel. It's a tough place to go get dudes now.
4 of their losses are 4 points or less, Phil. That's kind of like what Arkansas was last year. It kind of felt like just couldn't make the enough plays.
Bill, what's your thought on Matt and I were talking about the Heisman for a while. Because we're at the turn now. It's, most teams have played, I think everybody by now has played 6 games, so they're halfway through. The last time that a Heisman Trophy came from a team that is not in a Power 4 or then Power 5 conference, although back then nobody used those terms, it was Ty Detmer in 1990 with BYU. And I think he broke the single-season passing record that year. Does Ashton Jeanty need to have a record-setting season to win the Heisman? Matt's of the opinion that the Heisman should come from a Power 4 program. We've had some texters come in with the same opinion. Some think that Jeanty stands out amongst the crowd. Do you think that the Heisman should, I don't know if you say like it's limited, but you put more weight against a schedule for a Power 4 team than from the schedule Boise State plays? And that makes sense to me.
I thought you were going to say Andre Ware back a little bit.
Oh, with
before
Houston.
That.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's possible. It's unlikely. Now, the pathway, and guys, just ironically, I'll be quick. My wife's cleaning out this room, and I see on the bed this unopened Heisman ballot from 2018. It was mine. Now, I did it online, so I didn't skirt my responsibility, but I thought it was kind of funny that she chucked that thing on the bed unopened and everything. Look, he's going to need the big name player, quarterback, canceling each other out. That's what would have to happen for
like
him
splitting
to
the
win.
vote.
It's very, very unlikely.
Interesting.
If Oklahoma, let's say Texas goes undefeated and Oregon goes undefeated, I mean, could one of those quarterbacks, could they kind of cancel each other out where then Jeanty could win it?
Maybe.
Because then
it's unlikely, but that's the formula. That's the pathway.
Interesting. Hey, Bill, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill King. It's always a fun conversation with him. He hosts 6 to 9 on Nashville Sports Radio and joins us each Tuesday on Halftime. All right, we'll move into our into the home stretch of halftime. It's 877-377-6963. Anything you want to get with us, we'll answer back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Do you feel that, Arkansas? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $3 million. Why should you care? Because this $3 million plus prize can only be won in Arkansas. There are 2 Lotto drawings every week, and the jackpot keeps growing until there's a winner. Join the fun and play Lotto today. A $2 ticket could change your life. Get yours in stores today. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crickhopper.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Since all borrowed queen in Memphis, she tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to keep me right across her shoulder. Seem to drink my mind.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime here, 877-377-6963 as we take you into the home stretch up until 2 o'clock. I don't know if you can hear this, but this is at Basketball Media Days at Birmingham. We'll see if you can actually hear Jackson Robinson, who was, I think he was on the preseason All-SEC third team. Robinson, of course, you remember, a former Arkansas Razorback, played for the 2021-22 Hogs after transferring in from A&M, went to Brigham Young after that. Might be the biggest incoming player in the portal for Kentucky. Bob Holt asked Jackson Robinson if he learned anything from Eric Musselman. It's a very quick answer.
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of scratches his, I don't know if you could hear it, but he scratches his chin. Nah, I don't have anything to say about Coach Muss. And that was it for him. It's kind of an interesting, usually they'll just say something about him. You know, if they bring up an old coach, I wonder what he would say about, well, he played for Pope at Brigham Young. What would he say about Buzz Williams at Texas A&M? Nah, I don't have anything to say about him. Of course, Bob would ask the question about Muss. So that's kind of interesting. It's not like Kentucky's coming here, though. Arkansas gets to go there. Dennis Dodd said overnight that the SEC and the Big Ten are now in preliminary talks. I thought that's what the meeting was last week. Preliminary talks to play a series of challenge games, which would pit SEC against Big Ten every year exactly the same way that basketball does it. Which I've always loved the challenges that conferences do. I think the first one I remember would have been basketball in like maybe the late 80s or the early 90s. It was the Big East ACC Challenge, and that got a lot of eyes to television. I think this would be brilliant. I mean, you're basically at this point forcing teams to leave an empty spot on your schedule at whatever week it is. And maybe these games would all be played the same week. Could you imagine that? Like you could have 16 SEC versus Big Ten games in a weekend. I think that would get massive amounts of eyes to it. You already have massive amounts of eyes anytime that SEC teams play each other. Same with the Big Ten, sort of the big names too. But, man, could you imagine a weekend with, let's say Ohio State versus Tennessee, Michigan and Alabama, Texas versus Penn State, Arkansas against Nebraska. That's a matchup I've always wanted to see, the Hogs against Nebraska. I mean, Matt, this sounds to me like it would be great for the SEC and the Big Ten, but it also separates them further away from the other leagues. Maybe it's not great for the other leagues, but it'd be good for these leagues.
Well, then I'm with you. I don't know what's taking them so long. Absolutely, this should already be done. But what it does is then it would keep your SEC games at 8. I think if you add that in there, I think the Big Ten still has 9. But if you were the SEC, I don't know that you would want to go to 9, then, because if you go to 9 conferences, then you got that game too, and that's a 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 right down the line type. That's a big time game. I think that would be super cool. I think they should do it. I'm 100% for that. And if they do it, I think that keeps the SEC schedule at 8 games.
So usually these leagues that have a challenge like that, there are.
And I like your idea about all being on the same day.
Well, I mean, that's like a weekend that would get every eye from college football. I mean, literally, it would steal the eye from every fan across college football. But how would you like to be one of the 2 Big Ten teams that gets left out? Because you had 18 Big Ten teams, 16 SEC teams. So everybody in the SEC
could play
gets
Army
an
and
opponent.
Navy.
Yeah, that's right. Or they could just play each other that weekend.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, you guys, you get, maybe. So at that point, it's I don't know who's in last place in the Big Ten. Take a look at the standings here for a quick moment.
Probably Northwestern.
I would figure Northwestern is there. Rutgers would usually be there, but this is a different year in college football. So it's Purdue, Maryland, and UCLA that are winless in the Big Ten right now. So You got to have tiebreakers at that. So now you have tiebreakers to figure out who plays who in the yet to be named
It's kind of a
SEC
baby
Big Ten football challenge.
It's a baby form of relegation. You know, just the Big Ten. SEC is kind of a little relegation.
It's relegation junior.
Yeah.
Relegation the third. Woods is here. What's up, Woods? How you doing?
I'm good. I'd ask you the same, but I've already heard 10 times today. Hey, I got two comments. One, that SEC ACC challenge would probably make the coaches happy because it's one less thing they have to worry about in scheduling, right? The ADs and the coaches wouldn't have to worry about it. You already have one.
But also,
game.
so many of these teams schedule years out. There's probably gonna have to be like a contract or two canceled, which I think they, maybe
Right.
they'd be fine with it.
Well, and it may take 2 or 3 years before they can get this thing figured out.
Yeah, I think you're
even
right.
further down. Right. But the other thing is I saw my first sacrifice bunt in Game 1 of the Dodgers game, and I thought that was outlawed. I haven't seen a single bunt all year in a Major League Baseball game. I thought that was.
I know.
Like
I thought
roughing
the sack
pass.
bunts are supposed to come from the Brewers or the Royals or the Guardians, not the Dodgers.
I thought that was considered like roughing the passer or roughing the pitcher. I thought that was outlawed. But hey, I love the segment with Dr. Liggett yesterday. I haven't been able to call in or anything, but when he was giving the insights on the games and the attendance and everything, and I don't know if you saw the attendance for Auburn and Florida State, which was massive.
Now they played that at the AA Park in Pensacola, I
Yeah.
think.
Yep, right. But with the crowds that you're seeing drawn for fall games, do you see something in the future where they might play 4 weekends, like possibly 12 games of a fall schedule against teams in your area, your region?
I think that'd probably be. I think that'd probably be a step too far. It's only been how many years has it been? I think like 6 years where they've allowed 2 exhibitions in the fall.
Right.
And I don't know. It's like these are not games that count. That's the problem with it. They are just exhibitions. So it's the same with spring training. Spring training games don't count. But this would be like on the opposite side of it. It would be spring training like 6 months before the season, which would feel a little bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, but you're drawing crowds at the same time, and and it's good for the teams to not just play inter squads and see other pitchers for just a little bit. Granted, regional teams you're probably playing in non-conference schedule, so I don't know how much you want to do that, but I think that we've seen the growth of college baseball, and that's taking it a little one step further for people who would love to watch it year round. So just I know it's probably further out there. It's going to take time, but it seems like a little bit of the evolution we might be going through.
Now remember, they're in a place now. We had Dave Van Horn last week. Remember, they got to get to next year, 34 players. That's all you can bring in. So, I mean, he was talking about being worried that maybe there's teams that are going to cancel midweek games if you have a 2-game series in March or in April because you got a couple of injured pitchers. I would think if you only have 34 players in the fall, it's going to be difficult to schedule 8 to 10 games. I think you can do 2. But they're going to figure that thing out first. How they man their teams in a way that they've never had to build a roster like this before.
Right. There's a lot of moving parts. It would take a while to figure something out. But I just think the expansion of playing other teams in the fall seems like it would be, I think, a good idea. But that's all I had. I didn't know if you heard anything or if you had thoughts on that, but I appreciate it. Y'all have a good weekend.
Yeah, you got it, Woods. And I still have got a Stratomatic game that's burning up my pocket. Well, it's actually too big to fit in my pocket, but it's still there. 877-377-6963 to get with us. David said, I think this was like 6 or 7 weeks ago, that they had initially sounded like the folks who put on the College World Series in Omaha wanted to have a fall thing. With I don't know how they would necessarily do it if you can only have 2 games per team, but I mean, it sounded like they were going to bring in Nebraska and I think Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and another program and make it like a 4-team deal at the home of the College World Series in October. So there are people out there that are thinking in much bigger terms for fall baseball than they ever have before. I just kind of think that 8 to 9 to 10 games might be a little bit of a step too far. Yeah, JT didn't think they're going to play that either. And I got a text in here from Shane and Dirks that thinks this is going to be a week that Bobby Petrino shows how good he is. It sounds, Matt, that he trusts Bobby's work with backup quarterbacks. He's pointing to Tyler Wilson coming off the bench against Auburn and how well he played then. I don't know if I view Malachi Singleton quite the same way as Tyler Wilson, but I wonder if people viewed Tyler Wilson that same way when he came off the bench and played so well against Auburn. But I do trust that if Petrino is confident in Malachi Singleton, then he'll go out there and hopefully play a good game if he has to play. And that's the other thing, too. Like, even if Talon does get out there and play, Matt, if his leg is not 100%, maybe he doesn't finish the game.
You're gonna see both quarterbacks. If Talon Green plays, I think you'll see Singleton. But I would not be surprised if you don't see both of these quarterbacks playing. And honestly, when 3 got in against Tennessee, man, I give him an A for the way he handled it, the way he progressed as it went on. He kind of felt the game out and kept that 0 beside that turnover column. And that'd be big. That'd be kind of the big key as far as moving the chains, keeping the chains moving, getting them in the right play, making sure the protection's right, keeping the offense on track. How is his third down percentage? Because I know Talon Green's one of the best quarterbacks in the country on third down. You got Bobby Petrino calling the plays. I get that. But you look at his clip, man, he's getting it done on third down. That'd be a big thing. That'd be a money down for 3.
Here's Bobby, who's giving us a call out of Cave Springs. Bobby, good to hear from you, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Last day for shorts, I guess. There's a
not the
story
last day for a kilt, though, unfortunately, right?
No. There's a Arkansas baseball back at the old George Cole Field had a fight with Alabama on Mother's Day, and we had some players suspended. Alabama had a little non-conference game that they could have their suspended players play in. But Arkansas had a game with Oklahoma that week. So we had to play with suspended players against Oklahoma, so we'd have them back for the weekend conference series. Well, went out to of course, parking lot was right next to the outfield out there down the third base line, and I went out there, and Nolan Richardson was out there in his big car, and unbeknownst to me, Rose was there. And so I went out there and shook hands with Nolan, talked to him for a little bit. Then there was a little dog wandering around, and I asked where the hole was to put the key in that dog to wind that little toy dog up. And some people thought it was funny, but Nolan was getting a particularly good laugh out of it because it was Rose's dog, and I didn't realize I'd made fun of Rose's dog. Probably wouldn't have if I realized it was her dog. I just thought it was somebody's dog. But Nolan got quite a kick out of me making fun of her dog.
Did Rose?
Yeah, but no, Rose, I don't think she was amused whatsoever.
Oh, that's a good one, Bobby. Good to hear from you. We got to run. All right, that's Bobby from Cave Springs. Used to be called Hognoxious, but he's not a season ticket holder anymore, so I wonder if he gave up the nickname with that too. Get over to Joe's Grilling Cantina for Arkansas football this Saturday. All day long, endless enchiladas and $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, and sangrias. But they also have during the game half-price apps and half-price taps and pitcher specials all day on select beers and margaritas plus $2 Busch Light drafts. Joe's Grilling Cantina, where it's at to watch football on game day, 74th Street, Fort Smith, right across from Harps, joesfortsmith.com. Back to wrap up halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Auto Glass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Auto Glass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Auto Glass a call. 782-4441.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Check out the new Wacker Newson ST45 at Sharp Equipment. It's bigger, bolder, and is ideal for lifting and loading. The vertical path lift arm allows for easy load placement in demanding applications where reach and height is a requirement. For compact, heavy equipment with a great deal of power, visit them and check out the new Wacker Newson lineup at Sharp Equipment. 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Or call them at 479-242-1406.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
These nights, it's crazy. Find out, pretty mama turns on the lights. Fever is hot, and the wicked wind whispers in your. You got your demons, you got desires.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, I got a while to kill here before the Yankees Guardians game, which is maybe be one of the only things that keeps me up today. I went down to the ground again. It happened again Sunday morning, Matt. I'll go outside to feel what the temperature felt like. One cough is all it took, sent me right to the ground. And I've been having some trouble moving around properly. I don't even know how I'm able to sound chipper and happy and excited to be here today, because I'm not. But you know, when you get 3 hours of radio, you get 3 hours of radio, whether you can move or not. But I got to do something about this. 48 going on 88, 47 going on 88, Matt. I gotta stop the aging process so quickly here.
That's a good age right there, man. I hope I make it to 47 going on 88.
I hope I make it to 48 going on 49 the way I feel today, to be quite honest with you, man. Yeah, you know, you don't ever really appreciate the idea of how everything moves through. Every movement you make has to do with your lower back until it happens.
Yeah, that's no fun. That's not a fun way to go about it.
So you know what I end up doing for the rest of the day? I got football to prep for him. I got a game to watch. I've got the pillows situated on the couch just so. I mean, the absolute perfect setup so that all I got to do is just put the TENS unit on the back or slip in the heating pad or the ice packs. I'm going 20 minutes ice.
That's right.
20 minutes heat, 20 minutes electrocution. The electrocution part of it is fun. If you never had one of those TENS units, I think you could cook a chicken with that thing. Anybody ever try that before? Strap the electrodes on your food, on your chicken, your uncooked chicken breast, and just zap that thing to perfection. Works on backs and food. Who knows?
Magic.
That's right. My father once told me he thought I was a magician because I made him biscuits and freaking gravy once. Like nobody actually made you for this one time. I am no warlock. Anyway, it's been fun today. I appreciate everybody's calls, everybody's texts. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will be coming out shortly. Thanks to the two and only Christian Johnston, Seaburger Movie Unit, and Colton Little, C45. Tomorrow is a Wednesday edition of Halftime without Clay Henry because he's probably past half of Kansas. There's another 500 miles of windmills to travel through. So we'll have a lot of time for your calls and texts on the show tomorrow. Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a few minutes. For Matt Jones, for Colton Little and Christian Johnston, I'm Phil Nelson. We appreciate you listening today. That's Halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.